There's no better way to get better at football than playing football. So if you want to...
Taylor's going to finish it!
I've always been confident in my abilities. I think, I'm a guy that can go out there, and I always believe in myself that I'm going to get open and make the play if they throw me the ball.
The third. Ryan, end zone shot for Pierce. He caught it! Oh, what
a... Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Colts Cast. We're here to talk about everything and anything Indianapolis Colts. Here's Jamal Lawrence, and I'm Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts, Colts Nation. This is the best way to support us as it gets our video out to other Colts fans just like you, and it is completely free. All right. So, in today's episode, we're going to be tackling a question that's been buzzing through the Colts community. Really just buzzing from our social media pages because we asked the question, is Michael Pittman Jr. a top 15 receiver in the league? Not 5, not 10, not 25, not 20. We talking 15. We have to settle the score right now, Jamal. Top 15. You want me to start? You want to start? Let me know.
Oh, well, I just want to give let Colts Nation know I just got this new AR jersey for the game. I had to get a new one. So still rocking the JT, though. Still rocking the JT.
That's my next one I'm getting. I want to get a white Anthony Richardson jersey.
Well, I'm nervous about this one because I am terrified of spilling something on it because I know I will. It's going to be 5 minutes of being at the stadium. It's going to be a mess. But neither here nor there.
Yeah, I've already ruined my my little Colts polo.
Yeah, so it's tough, man. But with that being said, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take the lead on this one, dog. Let's hear what you got to say about MPJ. Is he top 15?
Okay,
let's hear it.
Is he top 15? So let's get into some stats first. Let's break it down before we reach a verdict. The Carson Wentz era, 2021. He accumulated 88 receptions for 1,082 receiving yards, averaged 12.3 yards per reception for 6 touchdowns. That's pretty good. That was a sophomore season, right? Yeah, that's a good sophomore season in 2022 with Matt Ryan under center primarily. 99 receptions for 925 yards. Yards per reception dropped a good bit. Only had 4 touchdowns, a little lower. But in his defense, I think everyone had a dip in production last year, right?
Oh, yeah.
You could say the entire offense took a dip. So now we're in 2023. This man's on pace for 141 receptions for 1,303 receiving yards, which would both be career highs in his contract year. Perfect scenario for the humble man himself in his extension year, don't you say?
Yeah, without question.
And then I know what you're thinking. Look, Eric, there has to be some regression to the mean, right? He can't keep up this pace, can he? Maybe, just maybe. Through 3 games, Michael Pittman has accounted for 30.3% of the team's target share. Total target share with 34 targets. 30% of the passes thrown are going to him. Josh Downs is right behind him with 24. Together, they account for over 50% of the team's target share. But let's get back to Michael Pittman. This has been kind of the case regardless who's under center, whether it was Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, Anthony Richardson, Gardner Minshew. It doesn't matter. Quarterbacks love throwing to him. Why? It must be because he's getting open. They can trust the guy. He's got good hands, right? Shane Steichen is cementing him. Michael Pittman firmly into the playbook. Like, there's no question. And every coach has done that. Every offensive coordinator has done that so far. He's scheming these guys open. One of the reasons I believe is because, he's a yards after catch monster. Michael Pittman has 115 yards after catch according to ESPN. That leads the team by a wide amount. And I believe it's top 10 in the entire league currently. Not to mention, he's the only receiver in the NFL with at least 8 receptions in 3 games. That's an incredible feat, no matter how small the sample size. So, you got a big and strong receiver, really good hands, someone who elevated their route running since entering the league. I know he gets criticized for his speed a lot, but there are plenty of receivers who make up for that through other refined skills. So, he proved to us in week 3 that he can come in the clutch, making a catch of the year type grab over 2 defenders with no penalty called on him. that kind of catch leaves a good impression on everyone. But let me play the other hand. There are a lot of good receivers in this league. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. I'm just going down my list. I got Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, Jalen Waddle, Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, Calvin Ridley, Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Mike Evans. Like, I just only named 20 that I wrote down. So, and we would have to go through this list and sit here and evaluate, can Michael Pittman fit above 15 of them? And I feel like I could keep going. I feel like I'm missing like 5 or 6 others that would be in contention. There's a lot of good receivers, and once you get into that middle range, I feel like it is subjective to an extent. And so if I'm being honest, I think it'd be really tough to fit him in the top 15 if I'm looking at it without bias, objectively. Most of these receivers have 1,000-yard, multiple 1,000-yard receiving seasons. Some of them you can just, by watching highlights, or maybe you watch the games other than Colts games, that these guys are spectacular. They're making incredible grabs. They're getting open. They're doing things. They're putting up the stats. I think Michael Pittman can be a wide receiver 1 on this Colts team right now. I think he can. But top 15 in the league, it's really tough for me to say. So I'm probably going to get some hate for it, and I have to be honest. I love Michael Pittman. I have his jersey on right now. If you don't believe me, there we are. Can you see it, Jamal?
Oh yeah, you can see that.
I love this guy. But top 15. I don't know if I can do. I don't know if I can do it, Jamal. There's a lot of guys on this list that is crazy good. So I can't put him up there right now. He may be borderline number 15, but that's really a hard if, And I'm just being top 15 in the league is hard. So
oh yeah, that's really hard.
I am not hating on him, but I'm looking at these guys and I know what they've done. So
yeah.
How do you feel about that, Jamal?
I mean, I feel like that's a very hard thing to say, and I feel like you explained that really well. It's gonna be hard for me to kind of give a point without repeating some of the same information you said, but I'll be more than glad to do it because, as you mentioned, I mean, I think I wrote down just 15 of receivers, besides MPJ, and I'm sure if I went down the list of Justin Jefferson, Tyreek, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Tyler Lockett, Mike Evans, Devontae Smith, Deebo Samuel, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, exactly like you said. I mean, those names ring bells. Some of these people are on the same team. So they have 2 people in the top 10 receivers who are on the same team, which means the wealth is being spread across the board there. So that's kind of where this thing comes in. But let's talk about what he has done. Like you mentioned, I mean, I read this article from PFF coming into the season. They had Michael Pittman ranked at number 30. They had him ranked as the 30th receiver coming in. In all fairness, like you mentioned, though, Eric, zero stability at quarterback. Besides that, Carson Wentz here, it's definitely limited his success for him. But this is his first season having the tools around him, and it's time to shine. He's starting to glow. I mean, I can't argue with that. He's definitely starting to glow. One big point you made, he is the only receiver with at least 8 catches per game. I think that's very important because the productivity is there. I mean, they're trying to get the ball to him as they can. And he's shown he's hungry. He wants that extension, but there are some obstacles that stand in front of him. I think that's the main thing. And so this is kind of where I have to kind of flip the script and go down that rabbit hole, like you were just saying. With those 8 receptions per game that he's been getting, that's great. But he still has yet to get that 100-yard game. Now, I know the Jacksonville game, he had 97 yards, but that's right underneath the ticker. But that just goes back to like those 100 reception games or 100 reception seasons where he's not getting 1,000 yards. Like, we need to see if you are that wide receiver 1. Yeah, I need to see you get these milestones because these Jeffersons, these Hills, these Diggs, and all these guys have no problem with these 1,000-yard seasons. They do it back-to-back. CeeDee Lamb did it back-to-back. These things happen. Also, too, this is the first time in a while where we have, I feel like some of our weapons that we have out there with him can stand the test. Now I know Pierce has kind of been a non-factor for us right now, which is unfortunate. Reggie Wayne just said that we got to get him more involved, so I'll be curious to see how that goes. I mean, Reggie talked about him, all during the offseason, how he's going to elevate his game, but this is not a Pierce episode, so we're going to get back on track. I say that because even without Pierce being there, Josh Downs has stepped up and he's shown that he can get these targets as well. And I wonder how that's going to affect Michael Pittman, especially in the intermediate game. We saw that great screen he caught for that touchdown. That was the Pittman call. That's awesome.
Where most of his yards after catch came
Right.
from. But like he was moving,
he
was evading receiver. That was good for him.
It was really good. And I think that those kind of things I even mentioned it in another episode. I said that I think that I would like to see Josh Downs more with those because he's a little quicker. But Pittman showed he can evade the pressure. He got through everything and scored that touchdown. So you can't count that out. But I just think it's really hard for me to sit here with a straight face and tell you guys that I can put him in the top 15 with some of these names that are out there. Do I think Michael Pittman is well on route to earn that contract extension? Absolutely, yes. Do I think that Michael Pittman was going to get that contract extension before the season started anyway, no matter what the season led for him? Absolutely, yes. The Colts weren't just going to throw him out unless they were tanking. And Eric, I think my camera might have gone off for just a second, so I may repeat myself. But I think that the Colts definitely had full intentions on giving him this extension before this season was going to be in any part of the play. So that's part's well on track for him. I think that Michael Pittman he's shown that he wants to be a receiver one, although he said that everyone's a receiver one on this Indianapolis Colts team to him. But I just at this point in time cannot look all of Colts Nation square in their face and say MPJ is a top 15, because I'd be willing to bet you guys any dollar I had in my pocket that if you could tell me right now that you would be willing to trade MPJ for Jefferson, Hill, Diggs, Adams, Lamb, Brown, Chase, Ayuk, Lockett, Evans, Smith, Samuels, St. Brown, Waddle, Olave, you probably would. You may not do all of them, but I can guarantee you'd be willing to ship him out to get one of those guys in here. So with that being said, again, love MPJ. I think that he's grinding. I know I've been hard on him all season. I'm going to continue to be hard on him because I want him to elevate his game like he's been doing. But right now, I just can't put him in that top 15. But I hope he continues to shine, and maybe by towards game 9-10, we could be having a completely different conversation.
Yeah, if he's on pace for 1,300 yards, and he can get to that feat this season, I'm willing. I guarantee you a lot of those receivers won't hit that 1,300 mark like he will. And then we can use the argument for him to say, yeah, I think QB instability, has torn him up a little bit. The system has been bad for him. Even though this is Richardson's first year with him, I mean, it just looks a whole lot better for Michael Pittman and this offense. So, yeah, like you said, Jamal, completely different conversation down the line. But right now, as we currently are debating this, we can't put him top 15 in the NFL. That's an incredible achievement for any receiver. I just don't think he's there quite yet. I want him to be there, and I think he can get there. I mean, he has the ability to get there. He's shown it plenty of times. He's made some great catches over his years. But last year he had some downs. He had some downs in a lot of games that we really needed him to show up. So this is not only a contract extension season for him, but kind of a rebound to just show us that, hey, maybe Matt Ryan wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Jeff Saturday wasn't that great. If he outperforms in this system, I can sit here and comfortably say, okay, there was just something going wrong last year, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. So Michael Pittman, still our wide receiver one, I guess for me at least, Jamal. Still my wide receiver one for the Colts.
They're all receiver ones in his eyes, so they're all receiver ones for me.
But right now, it would be really hard to fit him into that top 15, although I could probably find a spot for him. in that 15, like literally 15 or 14 range, but it would be really tough. Like there's a lot of just more experienced receivers that are still playing at a very high level. So they have the history to show for it. Michael Pittman, of course, he's been playing that carousel, new coaches, things like that. So it's really not a knock on him. It's more he just hasn't his surroundings, and he hasn't achieved what some of these guys have done yet. And that's what I say yet, because he can still do it. Like he's still a young guy. I mean, he's on an up and coming team. I really could see him enter that top 15 sooner rather than later,
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Hey, let us know what you guys think. I'm interested to hear, because I've been reading a lot of comments on the posts we made on Twitter. There's a lot of people that say he is top 15. There's a lot of people who say he isn't. So it's a good conversation to have, and I'm willing to hear everyone out. So let us know below in the comments. That's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast today. We're looking forward to the LA Rams games.
Oh, yeah.
We will see you after that game.
Take care, y'all.
Take care.